Right, good evening everybody. Thanks very much for coming along. A bit of a wet night and other things on TV that you might want to be watching. Tonight's meeting is a bit different to the previous events we've run. First, we've moved everybody around, so the exits are now behind you. But it's also the first time I've had the chance to say the programme and this event's funded by European Social Fund, so that gets that out of the way. Thank you, Johnny, who is with us tonight, and that's another change that I'm doing the introduction. Title of tonight really is how is everyone getting on, and that's what we want to hear from you tonight. It's the first time we've run this type of conversation event. Doctor is going to show you some of the progress which some of you and some of the people from Leicester have been making over the last 6 months or so. But what we really want tonight is, as we go through the presentation and indeed afterwards, is to ask any questions you've got as we go through on the various topics, and also to hear what issues you've got and other things which you'd like us to cover on the programme, because that's where your feedback and input is really useful, and we can take that on and adapt it for future events, and also for some of the resources which we put on the website as well. So really want to hear from you and take part in the discussion tonight. We're aiming to have food around 8:30, and with no more ado from me, I'll hand over to Dota.
The point kind of tonight is that we'll look at some of the stuff that everybody's doing. The point isn't really that we're talking at you, so do kind of pitch in along the way, and if we're talking about something, not you, anybody else. Traffic and conversion, this is back in December, but it's still what we keep telling everybody, even when they come on board now and new companies. The point of the website is it needs to make some money, and to do that you need traffic and you need conversion, which you're going to get through good SEO and a good linear path. So some of the issues that we look at on these. This is one of the Leicester companies. Some of you might have been on courses with Han along the way, I don't know. They've just launched a new really big e-commerce site, really nice site. They've got some great homemade videos, so we keep wittering on at everybody at the moment saying you should do video. And Han is a great example of someone who's done a really good job on that, on a homemade, low budget. He went out and got quotes, and obviously people will happily quote you a couple of grand for 2 minutes worth of video, which for most of our companies is quite unrealistic. So good guy to speak to about video. He's also doing lots of big things on social media. He's got a whole little plan schemed out, and he's doing Facebook and lots of good things going. So if you've got doubts on using social media for business to business, he could be a good guy. He's had a big e-shot sent out by an agency Tuesday, yeah, to 6,000 businesses, so we're currently waiting to get some feedback and see how that's gone for him. And he's got really good traffic levels. I did spot something on this site today actually, because I was looking at his Google Analytics, which he's sharing with us, and he's got lots of traffic, but when you look at the top landing pages for his site, which is something everybody should pay attention to, his home page gets just short of 3,000 people land on it coming into the site, but the next most popular landing page only gets 63 people, which is a massive gap and completely against this concept that we keep saying that the homepage actually isn't the important page anymore. You should be getting traffic to all your other product pages where important stuff happens. So kind of a big wake-up call to everybody to keep checking your landing pages. Where are people coming in? Another one of the Leicester businesses, they do dental software. This is kind of a stage one of them. This is their initial site, and we did some tweaks on the layout, and he's relaunched it. He actually thought he'd fallen off Google because he was absolutely nowhere to be seen, and he thought he had been punished or kicked off. And he's done the changes, and he's now second on page 1 on Google. So this has happened very, very quickly, just doing some changes to his sites and his internal linking on it. We haven't done anything else. We haven't done anything off the site. It's all just on-page stuff. He's tried to do some better landing experiences. It was possibly a little bit messy, the current site. It's kind of following the model on put stuff where people expect to see it, and kind of try and structure it a little bit to look a little bit organized. Early days, but his Google Analytics is already saying that he's having 70% more new visitors, which for this guy is very important because he needs to keep generating new leads. And also another big change, his top keyword phrase to the site is now actually dental software, whereas before you looked at his top 10, top 20, whatever, and it was just all his company name or the name of the product. So big changes there happened very quickly based on not very big changes. Another Leicester one, they're very good in Leicester, they just kind of take everything on and go home and do big changes. They're quite keen and eager students down there.
What are you saying?
No, I'm not saying anything. There'll be lots of Nottingham businesses in a minute. These guys, financial services, really heavy, kind of dull industry, really, I suppose. But they've gone away, they've got a not great website where you'll be deeply challenged to find anything. And they've had a design agency or an agency involved, and I think it's a good example that it does pay sometimes to get an agency involved because it looks nice and it's got a very clear navigation now and it's really easy to find stuff. They've introduced blogs and some other social media stuff, which is quite big for a financial services type company. It's not what they usually do. And again, they've got some good new landing pages for each section with good links off to it. There's stuff to be kept an eye on this site, and it's a good example. You pay an agency good money and you expect that they're going to do everything for you, but actually tiny basic things like their titles and H1 tags and their navigation isn't spiderable, so there's stuff to be looked at, but it isn't live yet, it's still in development. But yeah, another example of a good site kind of on its way up.
I wonder how much it costs for the website.
Yeah, I don't know. No, he didn't say. I think on this particular site they're probably paying equal amounts of money to get people to check the text and content because they're very heavily regulated on what they can and can't put on, and apparently he's getting a lot of grief at the moment for the actual content. So that's probably more expensive than the actual site. I don't think it's an enormously expensive site as such. I think it just looks quite nice and clean.
It's ATP is stocker.
Yeah, maybe. It isn't data driven, it's not very big, it's a content managed site, but it hasn't got a massive database of products or anything behind it, so it is quite simple, straightforward site, so I wouldn't imagine too expensive. Any other comments on any of these?
Nice, it's nice.
Yeah, it is a nice site, it looks nice. Definitely. It's a brand new site, isn't it? So we haven't got much to say about it, but I wanted to show it because it's a new site and it's something different and quite innovative to go and do. It's not just, no, let's sell something online. Not that there's anything wrong with selling stuff online, but just thinking a little bit different and out of the box, which we thought was quite nice. It's, again, very clean and tidy interface, nice layout, looks really professional. Really good blog on it, which I might want to try and integrate a little bit more because you don't necessarily see the link to it up in the little corner, and it's a really good blog with lots of pictures and lots of good content. One of my issues, possibly, or questions would be that this is a really expensive piece of property and you're advertising a big wish list and I couldn't actually get it to work. So if you're putting something on the big in people's face to encourage them to use, it's probably best to make sure that it's easy to use. When you click into it, you get a page with loads of text on it, and there's a tiny link at the bottom that says you can register here. But back to the linear path and kind of strong element of where do you want people to go, where is your preference to make them go. And I did sign up for it, and I did then add a whole load of stuff to my favorite list, and I couldn't find them again anywhere. But maybe I just didn't do it right. But kind of a concept of put the